Pros and cons of living in Japan. Now let's start with one of the biggest pros for me, which is the cost of living. Now I've lived in 4 different states in America, both on the East Coast and the West Coast, so I feel qualified to talk about this. Right before I moved to Japan, I was living in California and I was paying $750 to rent a room in someone's condo. My living quarters at the time were small and cramped, I had to share a bathroom, and my roommates were awful. Fast forward a few years later, and I'm living in Tokyo, Japan, while only paying 65,000 yen for a 3-bedroom apartment and with no roommates. Now my utilities here are pretty much the same that they were back in the States. It's about $100 for my electricity and water bill. Now I will say that I find groceries to be just a little more expensive here, but that's because I've decided to eat a lot healthier. When I do my grocery shopping, I no longer get frozen foods, and that's just because in Japan I found that they don't eat frozen foods like they do back home. So I kind of have to eat fresh fruit and vegetables, which of course is better for your diet. When I do decide to go grocery shopping, I'll spend about 10,000 yen and get a week's worth of food. But it's also important to note that in Japan, it's cheaper to eat out than it is to buy groceries. Anyway, there's so many different facets of my life to cover in Japan, so if anyone's curious or has any questions, let me know.